So I found this awesome theory on Reddit about the Kurta clan actually being heavily influenced by the Saami people. So I'm going to link the post on Reddit, but what we're going to do here is analyze the genetics of my favorite character in Hunter x Hunter, this guy, Kurapika. So now we're going to do an analysis on this model. Let me first disclaim what these samples are. Polish Weklis, that's basically a Germanic sample. Baltic Marvele, that's a Baltic sample. Rus Krasnoye Yarsk, Bronze Age, that's a Siberian sample. Rus Karelia hunter-gatherer, that's a Eastern European hunter-gatherer sample. So primarily in general, the overall average is 33.6% Germanic, 25.9% Baltic, 23.9% Siberian, and 16.6% Eastern European hunter-gatherer. The Saami are genetically closest to, the Saami from the Kola Peninsula, but regardless of that, aside from the Saami are closest to Udmurts, Bezermian, Chuvash, Komi, and by the way, the Chuvash are, despite being a Turkic group, they're heavily influenced by their external neighbors, so take that into consideration. So are Kazan Tatars, and so are Russians to an extent. So that's where you're going to see a lot of Russian in their proximity list in terms of distance. But genetically, they're closest to their Finno-Ugrians cousins, their Permian cousins living in the Kazan Volgaic region of Russia. Udmurts, Bezermian, Chuvash and Komi, Kazan Tatars, Mari, etc. So we're going to right now explain the individual samples that we have of the groups that are related to the Saami people. So from a place called Большой Оленей Остров, or Big Deer Island, 6 individuals were obtained from this archaeological site from the Metal Age period. And then we have the Leven Luhta. By the way, I'm going to pronounce this stuff in the middle of the video, even if it's bad, I'm going to just attempt to pronounce it and just try to get it right. So from 300 to 800 CE, we have from Leven Luhta, we have samples that basically represent Middle Age, Iron Age at that time, the Iron Age of Saami peoples, the Saami peoples of the Iron Age. Then from the 18th to 19th century, we have in the Russian Empire, pretty recent Saami samples. There are 2 samples each in the last 2 groups that we mentioned. So in general, people from Finland, Estonia, Russia were a mixture of 5 lines of ancestry. Eastern Mesolithic hunter-gatherers, Yamnaya people of the Pontic steppe from Samara, LBK from the early European Neolithic, Western Mesolithic, from the Mesolithic hunter-gatherers. Damn, that's quite of a handful. Anyways, and then Yanasan. Those are a very isolated, inbred Siberian group that's very, very homogeneous in North Asian admixture. So when we analyze the Saamis, they're primarily... So what's interesting about the Saami is that they're just 20% East Eurasian and 80% West Eurasian. Now what's interesting is that they lack East Asian admixture. Not East Eurasian, East Asian. Their East Eurasian component is just entirely Yanasan, or Siberian North Asian itself. And to a very, very, very strong extent, they have a shit ton of Pontic steppe DNA in them, more than most Europeans do. On average, they have it a lot more than Europeans. And you can compare the results to Большой Оленей Остров, which basically has more Siberian admixture and has more Eastern hunter-gatherer. Actually, they have a shit ton. These guys, they have basically zero of it. And they have some amounts of LBK, very little in the Большой Оленей Остров, and so in the Saami as well. Okay, so in this PCA, there are 10 of the 11 ancient individual samples of this study falls under the Uralic cline, or Finno-Ugrian cline, exception with this one outlier, or as I call these fuckers. Yeah, I just call them fuckers, just outliers, just fucking exclusions from the party. This one Leven Luhta sample, JK 2065, or Leven Luhta B, who instead projected closer to Baltic and Scandinavian populations. Specifically, 2 Leven Luhta individuals and the 2 historical Saami are from Russia are projected very close to the previously published modern Saami. In contrast, the 6 ancient individuals from Bolshoi are projected much further towards East Asian populations and fall into an intermediate position along with the Uralic line and close to the Mansi. So the Samis basically they basically are primarily related to, the Finns and stuff like that, but they shift a shit ton. Like compared to most Europeans, they shift a fucking lot to East Eurasians, especially Siberians, due to a lot of their admixture being East Eurasian. Also about the significant portion of corded ware culture among the Uralic groups in general. At some point, we're just gonna make a video, like an entire analysis on the Finno-Ugrian people, including the the Uralic Samoyedic family. As always, thanks for watching. Bye.